I had to go for that. So, okay, so this one is, yeah, I'm really happy for this program. Illuminismo, kind of tongue twister for me, I'm not getting it. Yes, Illuminismo, organized by the St. Pius College, my favorite college, my alma mater. This college is made me, who I am right now. And thanks a lot for this wonderful initiative by Sarala Miss and other people, especially, so Sinosh, Dr. Sinosh is my good friend. So as Vinod is here, and Anil sir, I'm really happy that you're here, to see the program today. Yeah, so allow me to share my screen so that you can see what I'm saying it. Okay.
So you can share.
Can you see it?
Yes, yes, Felix,
visible, right? Good. All right. So so it's an interdisciplinary seminar series, and also I read the college magazine that is Kritam Smera. I'm really happy to see, and I have written an article in it. I hope you have seen my article as well. So yes, so first of all, thanks for this opportunity. I'm really happy for this, and St. Pius is always my I have lots of fond memories in the campus, and let me know how I can help you guys. If you're a student, I can see that most of you are the students of this college, and please do approach me, any request if you have. Okay, so I'm always ready to help all of you because St. Pius is always, my alma mater. All right, so today I'm here to talk to you about my finding in the Antarctica. So the title of this talk is How to Discover Curiosity versus Impact Factor. So coming straight to the topic. So some of you might have seen that we made a new discovery in Antarctica, and before that I was privileged to be part of the Indian Antarctic Mission, and I spent almost 6 months in 2 of the Indian Antarctic stations. So it took us a long time to get this article published, almost 5 years, because I came back in 2017, and the article got published only a few weeks back. And yeah, of course, it has been reported in the media around the world, including the BBC. So yeah, so this is what the place where I did the work. This is in the eastern Antarctica. As you know, Antarctica is a very interesting place to be, isn't it? It's an icy continent. It's a frozen land. There's nothing there except ice. But I also found that there is something else going on. The rock. It is moss. So moss species from Antarctica. Actually, I was walking around the Antarctic continent and I stumbled upon, this kind of turf-forming algae. So it's basically the plants, which is very interesting that I found these plants. These are like lawn, very, very soft in texture, only near the penguin colonies. So I found it pretty interesting. And how a moss can grow in Antarctica, it is quite bizarre because Antarctica, friends, doesn't have soil. And without soil, how plants can grow? Of course, algae can grow without soil too, but the vascular plants cannot grow, without without soil, because it needs nitrogen especially. So how does it actually grow? So that is my idea. So I was really curious to know what is actually happening, how the moss can live in Antarctica. So this is in a place called Fisher Island and McLeod Island in the Larsemann Hills of the Eastern Antarctica. So Antarctica is almost 99% ice, but there is 1% ice-free oasis. So this area is an ice-free oasis. It doesn't have any soil, it's just rock. And how the algae can grow, that is my idea. I mean, I was really curious to know it, so that kind of childlike curiosity is what actually led to this discovery. For another examples include like how lizards can walk on the wall. So that kind of ideas are usually the kind of questions that the kids ask. One example would be why we yawn. You see, usually kids ask, right? Why are we yawning? What is a fun of yawning? All these things are really interesting. And why do we have goosebumps, for example? I have written a lot of interesting articles on those lines in Science Reporter. Please have a look. So these curiosity-driven questions always fascinates me, And when I gave a talk on Antarctica in one of the temple, one temple person invited me in near Mahe, and I spent some time with the kids over there. And one of the kid asked me a question: how fish can live in Antarctica, Antarctic Ocean? Won't they get frozen? Wow, what a curiosity-driven question it is, isn't it? I had no answer. I came back home. I Googled, I searched in Scholar. I came to know that it's an antifreeze protein in the fish blood that prevents them from freezing. So fantastic. So these kind of questions are the curiosity-driven question. Another question that kids always ask me, are there any ghosts? Everybody want to know, are there any ghosts? I always say there are no ghosts. The elders are simply fooling you, isn't it? So how the moss can live? That is our question here. And yeah, it does only rock. So what we found is that it's basically, the moss gets the nitrogen from penguins, the penguin poop. So because the penguin excrements do contain nitrogen, these are nothing but guano, isn't it? The bird droppings are also guano. So how can you attest it? There are studies, earlier studies as well, that so the animals, as you know, the nitrogen has got two natural occurring isotopes, N15 and N14. So animals, what we do is that this lighter isotope we excrete, so that animals keep on accumulating the heavier one. So N15 is a proof that it's an animal nitrogen, while usual plants in rest of the world, it is N14. So if you see that what is the ratio of N14 to N15, you will understand, is it really animal or plant based nitrogen. So the moss in Antarctica, it's basically N15 is the nitrogen is a higher, the heavier isotope, that is N15. So that is a good proof that the nitrogen is actually coming from the penguins. And also another question which we had is that how it can survive in harsh winters of Antarctica. Antarctica is bizarre. That Antarctica 6 months is pitch dark, followed by another 6 months of complete sunlight. So this darkness, of course, is a photosynthetic. How can it live during the winter? And also, the temperature can dip up to minus 79 degrees. And also, these places have got extremely heavy snowfall. So usually meters of thick snow. How can it live in it? We don't have any proof yet. So, it is corollary is that probability is that these mosses are in dormant stage with antifreeze compound in it, so that it doesn't completely freeze. And after the September equinox, when snow start melting, so it start imbibing the melt water to soak it up to gain back to the normal state, so start germinating. So this is what a very interesting idea that we had it. So of course we to document a new species, especially in botany or zoology or microbiology, we need a lot of evidence. So it is not that just because of a DNA sequence alone we can describe. No, you need to have multi-level evidences. For example, these are called synapomorphy. Synapomorphy means distinct morphological characters or molecular character, because most of you are from, I can say that there are commerce students as well, right, in the introduction. So if you're from microbiology, the pertinent characters are usually the biochemical, catalase or UVAs, those kind of tests are really important. And for plants like moss, it's usually the morphological features. So here it is, rhizoids are branched, but the plant itself is unbranched. That is one of the very interesting characteristics inside Bryum, And of course, there are so many terms, the leaf shape, the shape is ovate, lanceolate, and acuminate apex, decurrent, reflex, cellulate margin, pecurrent costa. Those are technical terms, but yeah, these are some synapomorphy. And of course, we did a barcoding. And we found that this particular species is not clustering with any of the non-species which has earlier been described from Antarctica. Of course, it's not the first moss. There are already 100 species of mosses described from Antarctica. So, our species doesn't look similar or doesn't actually cluster with any of the other species of moss. So that is a very good proof that the term is called monophily. So that is the reason that we proposed it as a new species. And then we need to find a name for the new species. And we decided the name Bryum parathiensis. Bryum is, of course, a genus we cannot change, but the species name parathiensis, we decided on that name because of the station Parathi. I got this specimen in the vicinity of that station, Parathi station. So that is the reason why we decided to put this name parathiensis. And of course, Parathi is a goddess. Saraswati. This is a synonym for the Saraswati god. And yeah, so we are making a point of learning, the importance of learning, especially lifelong learning is really important, isn't it? Rather than thinking of the dogma that Sinosh has emphasized on his inaugural speech of today. So yes, so that is one reason we decided, and of course, Bharat is our country, isn't it? I collected this as part of the Indian Antarctic Mission. And by the way, the way that we name the species are either something to do with the place where it is isolated from, or something to do with botanical features, identifying features. This is the sixth species discovery from our team. All the previous names are either after the place, like for example, Ulva Paschima, that is only in the western coast, or Ulva Cladophora goensis, or it could be from the botanical features, for example, the Hypnea bullata, that is bullat feature on its thallus, or Ulva uniseriata, that is uniseriate filament. So all these are botanical feature or the place, but we never name after persons, which is the one of the common trend in taxonomy. And of course, it's much abused field. So people name a new species after their spouse, for example, wife or husband, or name after their PhD supervisor or their employer. Even there are incidences that you name after an unknown person just because you accept their monetary gift. Quid pro quo, corruption. Everything can happen. And why I'm against naming after person is that you will never know the person's legacy, in the future. You might name it after your colleague. Yeah, of course, I have some taxonomy friends who name after their colleague, and the colleague named their new species after themselves. So, you are helping each other. The reason is that you will never know how the person turns out to be later. He could turn out to be a criminal. Naming after a criminal is a good practice. So the reason is that once you name it, the name is etched forever. Nobody can change it unless they have evidence. So with evidence, anything can happen in science, right? So that is what it is. So now coming the next point of the talk is the behind the scenes. What really happened? How did it go? So of course, Madam Sarala ma'am asked me to say a little bit about the Antarctica as well. So Indian Antarctic Mission, this is a part of the mission, right? I conducted. So Antarctica is really interesting place. I have been earlier 23 countries, much of the Europe, US, Canada, and of course, East Asia as well as Africa have been. But this place is really interesting. Antarctica is the only continent for the science. There are no pseudoscience in Antarctica. No mining is allowed, no military activity, not even international borders exist there. It's complete continent, belongs to the use of the science, scientific findings alone. Very interesting. No tourism, no religion too. Antarctica has got no religious establishment. By the way, we found the planet Uranus in 1781, much before we found Antarctica. Even the continent Antarctica remained unknown to the humanity for a long time. Only in 1820 we found it, and no mention of it in any of the religious holy books. And the process is that you apply for, if you want to go to Antarctica, you can apply for it. You have to justify why you want to go to Antarctica. Antarctica, we have got two stations, Bharati Station and Maitri Station. And to go there, you need to apply to an institute in Goa. That is basically by Ministry of Earth Science. And once you get shortlisted, you need to go to a complete medical checkup in AIMS. It is not simple blood test, but they will check everything, even the ultrasonography they do, even the echocardiogram or treadmill stress test. You might wonder why. The reason is Antarctica is very, very isolated place. There is no, no hospitals there. And in case of any mild health issue, there is no way to rescue. It all depends on the luck. Luck is a major factor. So that is the reason you really need to be really fit to go there. So I'm sure some of the juniors, some of my friends who are watching this particular lecture, this program, might be wanted to go to Antarctica. When I was in school days too, I read about Antarctica first time in Eureka. In the Shastra Sahitya Parishad has got Eureka and Shastra Keralam. I used to wait for this magazine to come. These are monthly magazine. Even now, the magazine is fantastic. I suggest all of you to recommend, if you have young kids at home, subscribe to Eureka and Shastra Kerala. So when I was in school itself, I had this internal driver that I wanted to go to Antarctica one day, because I came to know about this Antarctica. And yes, so for prospective students or faculties too, of course, if you want to go to Antarctica, my recommendation, especially to the student, is never start drinking. Because if you drink it, you can never be declared fit, because the liver has to be completely functional. If you have a small liver problem like a fatty liver, you can never be passing the test in AIMS. It is 1 week long test. So as smoking, because there is a test called Cotton-9. Urine Cotton-9 test is just 5 rupees test. Now anybody can do that. Cotton-9 will be positive if you smoke a cigarette. So never smoke or drink. That is my advice to the youngsters here, because fitness matters immensely. And then second stage is in Himalayas. We went for the acclimatization training, ITBP, Indo-Tibetan Border Police, for three weeks. And later we went to to Africa, and we flew to Africa rather, and then to Antarctica. From Cape Town we went in a ship, icebreaker ship. By the way, Antarctica, I told you, there is no tourism. Even if you have crores of bank balance, you cannot go to Antarctica. You need to be part of a national mission. So if you look at my passport, you can see visas from various countries, multi-entry visas, 23 places I went, I told you. But that passport, the normal passport, you might remember, the dark blue color, is insufficient for you to go to Antarctica. You need a special passport. And can you guess the color of the passport? The same color of this Antarctic. It's white passport. Official passport of the government of India, you need to have it. So by the way, after getting this official passport, we went a team of 100 people, including 30 scientists and other people to help us, including doctors. I want to emphasize, only modern medical doctors who are part of us. No alternative medicine, no homeopaths, only modern medicine. I told you this continent is only for medicine, right? And then we went over there in icebreaker ship. This is a ship we went. This is basically called Ivan Papanin. And unfortunately, we don't have an icebreaker. India don't have it. So this is a Russian ship, which we took it, on rental. So in Antarctica, we were going here and there by, this. You can see that one small dot here. So that dot is nothing but our helicopter. So usually we travel by helicopter, as well as by a scooter called skidoo, which skids on the ice, and also by piston bully, which is something like a military tank. So, this journey itself is complete. For the next 4 months of my trip, it was, there is no internet, and, that unconnectedness with the constant stimuli with the internet is turned out to be a journey of self-discovery. I have written a lot of things in this book. You can purchase this book. It's published by Government of India. It's called Voyage to Antarctica. So this, it is there. And by the way, I want to emphasize there is a tremendous risk factor also involved. It's not that just a casual visit. No, it's a tremendous risk factor, because even you can see that I'm standing on the top of ice, but this ice is actually sea ice. Just below 1 meter, it is ocean. If it breaks, I'm down in the ocean. So in the continental Antarctica, there are a lot of crevasses. Crevasses are, hollow areas of the ice sheet. So if you happen to set your foot on the top of crevasse, then the small snow bridge breaks and you are directly underneath the crevasse. So the crevasses are also increasing because of the climate change. So there are a lot of risk in it. So that is the reason that usually these days the professors of the universities, they send their students, PhD students. That has now become a trend, because they don't want to take risk. They send their students. Unfortunately, this is causing a lot of trouble, because the students they take it as a chance to explore, to enjoy, but not really into serious study. And of course, that also lead to, if you are not really be prepared. That is a very important message. Be prepared. The Scouts message, isn't it? NCC also. If you're not prepared to face the adversities, then you are risking your life. 2 years back, a student from IIT Hyderabad died on the crevasse in Antarctica. So it's really important that
Hello, Felix.
converge. So long determining lines, latitude London time here, at the same time in anchored near to the station we were following, so that there is a time difference of 1 hour. So in South Pole, it's very interesting, with one jump, you can jump from yesterday to today and today to tomorrow. All time zones can be covered with just a jump. Very bizarre, isn't it? So this is our Maitri station, and then we have a Bharati station also. Bharati station. This is the Bharati station. It was commissioned in 2012. And by the way, this is a very interesting. It's a very good station. Latest station. It has got several modules for lab. So there is a microbiology lab also. So because this is organized by Department of Microbiology, there are actually incubators there. You can do a culture studies there. There is also, epifluorescence microscope. There is also a milliQ reference unit there. So that is for the ultra pure water. If you want to do some PCR, even that you can do. So it is a modern lab inside the Bharati station. It is completely made in Germany. Then it is disassembled and then reassembled in Antarctica. So yeah. So by the way, Bharatians say Bryum bharatiense, our new species, is named after this station. Now coming to my next part of the talk is on impacts of our discovery. So by the way, as you know, it's the first planned discovery in the last 40 years of Indian Antarctic Mission. So Indian Antarctic Mission started in the year I was born, 1980. So the mission is as old as I am, isn't it? 41st mission just went in the last summer. Right, so this is, but never been a discovery, the planned discovery. So that is why it actually came in prominent media attention all around the world. UK's Independent, for example, all around the world has reported perhaps the most reported discovery that I ever made. So this one is very interesting. There are several ramifications of it. The first thing is that this is a direct proof that Antarctica is greenifying. So there are earlier reports based on remote sensing that Antarctica, the green patches, you can see this is a remote sensing data from Cambridge University by my friend Matt DeWay. So, this is a ground validation of that, the finding, the remote sensing data, so that there is a direct evidence of the greenifying Antarctica. So by the way, before going to Antarctica in 2016, I got a chance on the same year, 2016, I got a chance to go to Norway. So that is another reason if you're a academician, so if you're a teacher, you get a lot of opportunity to travel around. These are pre-COVID time, right? The things have completely changed now. So I went to Oslo for a conference, and then I took a personal initiative. I went to a place called Lofoten Island in Norway, near Tromsø, which is inside the Arctic Circle, 200 kilometers inside. I took a ferry, and I was looking outside the ferry. I saw mosquitoes there. I asked them, the co-passenger, how about mosquitoes? Is it common? They said that no, it is not common. 10 years back, there were no mosquitoes, but you can see mosquitoes in Norway. Same reason why Antarctica is now getting greenified, because Antarctica is warming. So warming means, the temporal, might not be tropical, but subtropical and temperate species can now establish themselves in Antarctica. So that is very, very important, And by the way, that could be either because of vicariance or dispersal, which we don't have any idea. So if, for example, Bryum bharatiense. So some people ask me, is it really introduced from somewhere else, or is it a species endemic to Antarctica? I have no clue. All we know is that it's a new species which has never been reported earlier. So it could be one possibility is that because the snow and ice are melting, so the spores stored deep inside the Antarctic ice sheet is now emerging and it start germinating. Well, we have no idea about it, right? So that is very, very interesting thing. So what is lurking behind Antarctic ice sheet? So that is the point here. If you read books like Deception Point of Dan Brown, you will see the same theme was presented there because Antarctica being melting. So there could be some stored pathogens in Antarctic sheets that could actually emerge. So we call it as emerging or re-emerging disease like coronavirus. The next COVID-19 maybe might be there in Antarctica, you see. We have no idea. And this is very interesting avenue for the future research, so to see that what are the impact of the climate change. So that is yet another reason that we should not, misuse our resources. We should rather find harmony in the nature and don't take it for granted. Today's world is for tomorrow's children, our posterity. That's really, really important. And, there is a 1.5 degrees Celsius increase in the next 5 years. I featured that in the last episode of Curiosity. Curiosity, by the way, is a science show, which I release every month in my YouTube channel. I will just share the link right after this talk. You can just check it out. So the latest paper says that there is a 1.5 degrees Celsius in the last 5 years, and it's now being predicted global mean temperature. It's alarming, really alarming. And geologists, the consensus is that the next major geological event of the planet Earth is now predicted to be complete breakup of Antarctica. So it is now expected in 50 years time, next 50 years, half a century, it could happen if we don't control our carbon footprint and this global warming. So what is the ramification of this breakup of Antarctica? Extreme sea level increase. Low-lying areas will completely be submerged, like our Kochi city, or Alleppey, or Mumbai, for example, or much of the, Sundarbans will be completely submerged, and many countries will be completely gone. And the sea level rise is one thing. Another thing is that even Earth's rotation will have impact. So the Earth will slow down if the Antarctica completely melts. So slow down means our day will increase. It's not merely 24 hours. It could become 25 or even 26. Who knows? So the impacts are tremendous. Are we going to be there to see all these things? That is going to be a thing. So this is another very interesting finding by Ohio University in Tibetan glaciers in Himalayas. You see. So what they found is a 15,000-year-old viruses discovered in the glacier. So that is exactly the point of what is lurking underneath Antarctic ice sheet. It could be some pathogens. So unless we actually probe it, we have no clue on it, right? So the ramifications are tremendous about the global warming. So that is the reason why the research on extremophiles are really important. Of course, the Brian Paradiensis is an example of extremophile. So, the physiology of it, how it can survive, the survival strategy. So it can actually give the clues on early life on Earth. So the origin of life on the planet Earth, as well as a search for the life in the universe. So other planets as well as moon, that is a natural satellite. Is there any life on it? So that is that is the point of inquiry in the discipline called astrobiology, or also known as exobiology or cosmobiology, right? That is very interesting discipline, isn't it? So Antarctica do offer several avenues for astrobiological research, because Antarctica is so much like those suspected planets as well as moon. For example, the temperature of Antarctica is minus 79 degrees Celsius, and also it's completely ice, just like Enceladus. The moon Enceladus. And also the Antarctica. So you might wonder what is actually underneath the Antarctic ice sheets. There are lakes in it, subglacial lakes. There are rivers in it. Some rivers can defy the gravity. It can actually flow uphill. Can you ever imagine it? A river flowing uphill. Even the name flow doesn't make any sense, isn't it? Flow is from top to bottom, but it can actually go from bottom to top because of the hydrostatic pressure. And also subglacial volcanoes are there in Antarctica too. So all these things are really interesting. So of course, it's a cold desert, just like Mars. So Mars, if you look for example, the surface temperature is from -63 to +27, which is much more hotter than Antarctica. Antarctica is so much cooler. Antarctica can go up to -79 degrees. So if life is there in Antarctica, then why not Mars? So definitely, it's a very interesting, place for looking for the life. Enceladus is also very interesting. Sixth largest moon of the Saturn. Average surface temperature is very, very, very cold, -201, and it's mostly reflective, full of ice. It's just like Antarctica, isn't it? Cassini, the spacecraft, found that there is an icy gush from the pole of this Enceladus. And then the Titan. Titan is the largest moon of Saturn, the second largest in the solar system, and the temperature is up to -179 degrees Celsius. Very, very cold, isn't it? But the why it is very exciting is that it is the only moon with thick atmosphere, and atmosphere is mostly nitrogen, just like Earth. So presence of the liquid water below the surface revealed in Cassini and Huygens probes. So that is also a clue that there might be life on Titan as well. Ganymede is yet another exciting moon, which is the largest moon of Jupiter, the largest moon in our solar system. You see the Jupiter's moon. Jupiter itself is a huge planet. And this is a very interesting place because the Ganymede is the only moon with its own magnetic field. Even Earth's moon, our own moon, has no magnetic field, but this has got. And because of the magnetic field, it has even got aurora. Aurora is the southern or northern lights near the pole. I have seen auroras in Antarctica. So it has got an aurora, just like in the case of Antarctica. So there are probes like Juno and Hubble. Hubble, of course, is a space telescope, revealed the underground saltwater ocean, just like Antarctica, isn't it? And it also has got a thin oxygen atmosphere. And the surface temperature is -180 degrees Celsius, which is very, very, very cold place. And finally, Europa. Europa is the smallest moon of Jupiter. And Europa is exciting because there is a water plume from the South Pole detected by Galileo mission. So we have proof that there is water in Europa, and the maximum surface temperature is -160 degrees near the equator. So if you look all these things, Antarctica is really exciting place, and this is an optical illusion, Antarctica. So basically, Antarctica, I told you, has got only one sunset and one sunrise. So sunset happens in the March equinox, while sunrise happens in September equinox. So between March and September, Antarctica is pitch dark, and that is a very good place for astronomical observations. You see, so this is my own pic of Milky Way, our own galaxy. So we can actually see that, and also this is what I told you, the southern lights. And southern lights or the aurora australis, or even northern lights if you are in the northern hemisphere. So if you look at the color of this aurora, you can predict what kind of gas is responsible for the color. For example, if you look at this kind of purple color, it's because of nitrogen. While if you see this kind of a yellowish green color, it's oxygen. So that is the avenue of astronomical spectroscopy. So the same spectroscopic method, you can use it for probing the gas, and that is how the astronomers are now saying that in the Europa, for example, it has got nitrogen. All these things are because of spectroscopy. So science is really exciting, friends. Antarctica has got several of the very famous telescopes in the world, including South Pole Telescope, which is not really a light one. It is a microwave telescope. So, of course, because of the Antarctic telescope, we now have proof that there are 4,000 confirmed exoplanets in the universe. Exoplanet means planets apart from solar system. And we have very interesting exoplanets, Kepler 1649c, Proxima Centauri b, and Gliese 1061d and c. These are the most probable exoplanets that might have life. Astrobiologists are really, really keen to look at these exoplanets. So, so unfortunately, India has no astronomical units in Antarctica, so not even a single telescope. So astronomy is, of course, India's original fort, like Aryabhatta, if you see. astronomy. We have excellent astronomers in bygone era, right? But right now we are not really having a single microscope. I mean, a single telescope. So I suggested this idea in my book as well to the ministry to have a telescope establishment in Antarctica. So that's really, really important because ISRO's current focus is mostly on satellite technology and rocket launching, isn't it? Not exactly on basic sciences like astronomy. Astronomy is really, really important. So Antarctica is also a very interesting place for meteorite hunters. You know, the reason is that this is my own picture. This picture I took from helicopter. You know, so you can see, of course, you can see these penguins very easily. You can see the penguins because Antarctica is a, you know, it's a white landscape, isn't it? And because it's white background, it's very easy to spot anything black. So as a meteorite, two of the most famous Martian meteorites, including Yamamoto, has been discovered from Antarctica. So Antarctica is in a heaven if you are really into the meteorites, especially exoplanet as well as the you know, planetary meteorites. So several of the famous meteorites were discovered from Antarctica. So that is the thing. So that actually leads me to the final part of today's talk. What is the use of penguin feather? You know, so I came back from Antarctica in 2017 and I brought few penguin feathers for my friends. And some of my friends asked me, what is the use of this feather? So as if like, you know, so many people ask like, if you say tulsi, okay, what is the use of tulsi? Purported uses are there, right? It can cure the fever or cough like that. What is the use of it? So that kind of thing is very intriguing. What is the use?
Dr. Felix? I think he's not there in the meeting now.
I think some net problem occurred.
Some network issue probably.
I think the problem is with his network.
Ah, okay.
We are all we could able to talk each other, but he is not here.
Okay. Hope he will join soon.
Hope he will join soon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, could you able to hear me?
Yeah, Felix. You are, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry because I got disconnected in between, right? So yeah.
Okay, Felix, please continue.
All right. So
Sir, അതിന്റെ ഫീഡ്ബാക്ക് ഞാൻ തന്നെ ഇട്ടോളാം. എൻ്റെ കയ്യിലുണ്ടല്ലോ.
could you able to hear me?
Yes, Felix. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, you know, then I was thinking about, let me just go back because I think I lost the flow. So this is what he said, you know, so if the research has no application, it's as good as trash. So developing the product is what the scientists have to do. So I was thinking of all these products like mobile phone, computer, internet, electricity, GPS, radar, radio, television, air conditioner, X-ray, aircraft, laser, electric engines, even vaccines, antibiotic drugs, advanced genome editing tool like CRISPR-Cas9, or even Velcro. So by the way, none of these are really products of the application-oriented research. These are all products of the basic scientific research. The kids usually ask the questions like why plants never develop cancer or why we yawn. I told you, these are just curiosity-driven questions. At the same time, when we became adult, we ask like, how to live longer, how to increase agricultural yield, how to earn more money, how to treat cancer. These are the questions that, in the PhD YOOC, usually the people ask the questions like, what are the potential applications of the achieved results? What benefit does the research bestow to humanity? Or when you submit the grant, they will say that, you need to have an application, otherwise we will not support. Even the term curiosity driven is used as a pejorative to deny the grants. You see, so that is really, really bad. So the trend is getting really worse. So this is, of course, this is a tardigrade. Tardigrade is it's a water bear or water pig, you can say. It's a insect, and use of the tardigrade use. So what? What is the use of like this, or what is the use of astronomy? So astronomical constellation. You don't need to find the use for any of this. So that is not the giant scientists have ever done. For example, when he said on the exploration, he never had to justify that what is the use of physics. Even today, there is no use of it. Direct. Einstein, Mary Curie, Thomson, Niels Bohr, CVM. So none of these are the champions of the applied or application-oriented or utilitarian. So there's a very interesting essay by Abraham Faulkner, the usefulness of the useless knowledge. So it's really important. So the idea is that if you check the knowledge as a semantic tree, the trunk and branches are basic sciences, but the fruits and leaves, the terminal branches are applied. So unless you foster the trunk, and you're very strong with your, so simply going to the applied field like nanoparticle research is not really sufficient. So that is that I don't have to explain all these things, but one of the reasons why the mentality publish or work culture. So the peer pressure impact factor of the paper, so that is the reason why people are now jumping to the predatory publication. So so there are the multiple things in it, but if you look at that the journal in which we publish new species in Antarctica, it is Journal of Asia Pacific Biodiversity. The impact factor is very low, 0.8, which is dismissal. This is editorial in the impact factors are not relevant to taxonomy, and not just taxonomy, but many of the basic fields. Only for applied fields or practical impact factors are really important. So this publish or perish mentality is causing more harm than good. For example, this one is a very famous image. I'm not sure how many of you have seen that. It's in news these days. This is actually the same image you are photoshopping just to get the paper in the high impact journal. Criminal offense. This is by NCBS in Bangalore, one of the prestigious institute for biological research. One done this crime, and not just an NCBS. This is yet another very infamous paper, and not just one paper. There is actually an array of papers. So many papers one scientist have done. IITR. All these are really with the impact factors and applied research. So there are several papers which are published in the same level. Plant extract X coated with nanoparticle kills the cancer cell. You can see thousands of papers. So where actually it leads to? These are nothing but mediocrity. So it doesn't have any imagination or inspiration. So before doing this kind of work, so think of it. What is actually the use of this kind of trash papers? It doesn't lead to anywhere. So you can see that it has only two uses. One is that if you don't have any job, it will help you to get a job. Second one is that if you have a job, it might be a promotion. So other than that, nothing. For example, there are so many papers, 6,000 papers curcumin. The papers say that curcumin is curcumin or solid. So solid because it is basically a compound in turmeric. And many say that it's a superfood. It can cure cancer, AIDS, COVID-19. You can see it in the high impact journals. But actually, does it actually? But meta-analysis, one of the most famous meta-analysis, concluded that curcumin is non-bioavailable compound that completely invalidates all the 6,000 papers in high impact journals. Highly cited meta-analysis, the essential medicine chemistry of curcumin, concluded that it doesn't actually assimilate into the body. So a scale is really important, you know. So if something you can see that in doesn't mean that it has clinical significance. One good example would be HCQ, hydrochloroquine, which is really good for COVID-19 culture, but in practice, hydrochloroquine useless. So our last finding is a product curiosity-driven blue sky that is basic research, because the question of the utility is never our motive to undertake that research. And kind of work on extreme can provide some valuable hints and clues on survival strategies of extremophiles that has got impacts on origin of life and astrobiology. Respiratory research in general, Antarctica, the offers exciting avenues of the research, including astronomical observation, meteor, as well as experiments. So I would like to stop here, and I'm open for any of your questions. Thanks a lot for listening me very patiently, and also apologies for this tremendous delay. Any questions?
Thank you, Felix, for the very outstanding talk. You have clearly connected the impact of curiosity and the how a person should approach in mind, and based on your outstanding journey and outstanding mission in Antarctica, it was really an inspiring talk for the young minds who are joining here. And at the same time, you have highlighted how a person should be, scientifically and ethically committed to publish, as well as the high-level content in the, in the reputed journal, by not only looking the impact factor and by citing the recent, the retraction of the so-called NCBS issues. Okay, so that is very, very important, in which a scientific community should realize at this point of time. So thank you very much. You are marvelous and outstanding presentation. We know you are extremely busy, although there are a lot of busy schedule. You came back and you have continued the talk and you completed your talk. Thank you very much. So I would like the participants to, you can ask the questions. You have got such a wonderful, resourceful person here, and you can ask your questions, and either you can chat in the chat box, or you can directly, if you can raise the hand and we can unmute, and you can straight away, you can ask the speaker.
Dr. Felix, sir, thank you. Thank you for a wonderful session. I'm Dr. Gigi Kumari from Department of Economics and Pius College. Okay, then
hello, ma'am.
Okay, then from your talk, I got an idea that is, suppose if the global warming is going on, just like today is what is happening now, then the melting of this polar regions, especially, is happening very fast, and a lot of harmful viruses are coming again, just like this coronavirus, I think so. I got such an idea from your talk. Am I right?
Yeah, correct. Yes. So we don't really have any hardcore evidence that there are pathogens in Antarctica, but yeah, we do have proof that the Tibetan glaciers do contain 15,000 years old viruses. Again, we don't know that is it really pathogenic, because there are a lot of ethical dimensions, because this is a pathogenic virus, so it is not ethical to see that is it really human pathogen or not, and more than that, it is dangerous. So yeah, so there might be like that. Yeah, ramifications are serious.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Any other questions? Students?
So
Anil sir?
before any next question, if at all, I would like to share that I'm also having this community of learners, mostly young learners in India. We have a growing community called Young Academy of India, and anybody can member of it. There is no money involved. It's completely free, and it's an effort from some of us, including Sinosh. He is also a fellow of our academy. So the idea is that it's something like a matchmakers, so not matrimonial matchmaker, but ideological matchmaker. So if the students want to do, a 2-month virtual internship, we will matchmake based on your interest. So just like this ILLUMINISMO, this interdisciplinary program, our program is called Mentex, but we are aiming for fostering the interdisciplinary knowledge exchange. So if you are an economics student, you are welcome to work with a biologist, for example, to see that the impact of the biodiversity change on the economy. I mean, ideas are, never ending, right? So that interdisciplinary knowledge exchange is what we are planning to promote. We have this Mentex program. Again, it's completely free. You can work with the top scientists, for example, from TIFR or IISc, IIT, central universities. And I think it's a golden chance, especially for the students from college, like St. Pius College. I suggest all of you to be a member of our Young Academy and also to apply for the Mentex program. So getting a mentor is really important because the mentors will definitely help you with career guidance. It's a lifelong partnership, right? Professional partnership. The mentors can also introduce you to their professional networks that might fetch you a job later on. So the mentorship is really important. So I suggest all of you to be a member of our academy. So Sinosh, please share the detail in the group. Okay, so yeah, and do apply for our forthcoming program, Mentex. And I can see that Sinosh is guiding a lot of people. I think 12 students, right? Last year,
Yeah, that is 20 you have given, and 12 they have successfully completed actually. Yeah.
Fantastic.
And could you please share the curiosity episode? What we are, monthly you are conducting.
Yeah, I already I already shared the link to my channel. YT. Yeah, this is the channel. So you can subscribe to my channel and stay updated with the curiosity. You can see all the curiosity past episodes over there. And so we also have Curio Talks. So whenever we induct a fellow to the Young Academy of India, so we have, we have an interview with that person. Sinosh also was part of our program. So yeah, you can see that every Sunday we have this program. So yeah, I also release some other informative videos in the YouTube channel. So it is something like a part of my public education efforts, science popularization. Yeah.
Dr. Anil sir. Sir, Mike.
Yeah, it was very informative talk, dear Dr. Felix. I think our young students might have got a lot of information, and also they might have got quite inspired about your scientific endeavors. And, it was rather a philosophical question, the ethics, what is going on in the scientific community regarding publications and the research activities. Anyway, that will be a guiding point for the young budding scientists who are participating in the seminar, how much you should be sincere to their work and the scientific information, what you submit to the society, and how is it going to be utilized by the coming generations. And also about the climatic changes that is going on globally. And we are all concerned about it, but at least there are some unscientific thinkers who do not agree with such things, and they try to spread anti-science throughout the society. And I think such seminars, especially interdisciplinary seminars, will give light to the young generations about the importance of global warming and how we should interfere in it, and how to try to control such menaces, which will be a great threat to the humankind in future. And I think your talk will enlighten students and the participants regarding the importance of that aspect also. Thank you very much, dear. And we expect more of such seminars from eminent people like you, especially to the colleges and academic institutions, who will be more keen and interested to hear such thoughts from people like you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir, for the kind words. I'm honored. Thank you so much.
Teacher, Sarla teacher.
Dear Felix, thank you very much. Actually, the department and the college are actually proud of you. I can say that. Okay, and hope you will again come for us for such talks, which will actually motivate the students. So that's the very crucial thing nowadays, especially in the field of science. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am. Yeah, definitely. It's my pleasure. I will definitely be there. Give me a call or drop me an email anytime I'm ready for the. Yeah.
Felix, I have a question actually. So when you are in
Yes,
Antarctic,
go ahead.
how it was difficult to live there? You have spent nearly more than 2 months actually, isn't it? So how it was difficult to live there actually as a person, surviving there actually?
Okay, so we have the stations. So stations are like a camp.
Okay.
So it is the entire station is, so it's very comfortable. The survival is not a problem. It is it is a minimal life like an army barrack. Simplicity is the key. The living there, and used to bring all the food from India. So we cook, and of course it's a communal living, collective living, and you cannot say that I'm a professor, I will not touch. Cooking is not my job. So if you are like that, then you're not able to go there. So so it's not, there is no caste there also. Right? So higher caste person also needs to clean the toilet.
We have 2 stations there or only 1 station?
We have 2 stations. Bharati station and Maitri station. Are you able to hear me? Is there any problem with connection?
Yeah, you are audible. You are audible.
Audible. Okay. So yeah, that is what I was saying. It's a teamwork. So it is individual. Whatever be, leave that ego behind. That is saying we all have to cut the vegetables. We all have to clean the sink and the floor. There is no separate in Antarctica. Even in the ship we have to carry all luggage, right? And also backloading their waste. Even human excrement in Antarctica, if the human excrement will not decompose because it's extreme cold, you have to carry everything back to India. So those loading and unloading, the coolie, the porter work is scientists. So you should be ready to do any work, because it's a part of the mission. So it's a collective effort. And, so survival is very important. If you follow the most important message of Bharat Scouts,
Thank you. And you have already mentioned this, this species. And did you study why exactly these extremophiles? What is the mechanism of that kind of, that kind of level? How they are surviving? Is there any molecular based mechanistic studies or metagenomic studies you have conducted beyond that, and you had to identify any such kind of things as of now?
No, physiology haven't done. So, but many people have been doing that, and that is an exciting field of work. How the plants and animals do survive. I briefly mentioned about the survival strategy of a fish. So it has got antifreeze protein in its blood. So yeah, I mean, how the organisms can survive in this extreme habitat itself is a very exciting for the future work. Another of our work which yet is about the algal blooms in Antarctica, and we found that it is by Chlamydomonas nivalis, that is the the algae which is responsible for causing pink bloom. So the complete area becomes pink. So we collected the sample, we could able to culture here in our lab, and what we found is very exciting. Once you culture it, it becomes green. So the pink color is basically beta carotene, which is not expressed. It is expressed only in response to the extreme conditions, extreme high UV light, because Antarctica has got UV, so there is a hole, right, just above Antarctica. So there is a UV radiation is extremely high. So in response to that, the algae makes the beta that is not being made here in the lab. So all really interesting. So what are the adaptations that enable them to survive in extreme environments? Yeah.
Thank you, Felix. Any other questions or comments or anything? It is there. And I would like to mention all the participants, please note that we have shared the links for the feedback, and you have to carefully how to fill, and the certificate. As soon as you submit your feedback, the certificate will not be generated soon. We are going to validate the data, and then it may take some time. Then only you will be getting the certificate. As well, you might have attended so many webinars, and as soon as you submit the feedback form, you may get the certificate. It is not the case here. The organizing committee is going to validate the attendance, and we are going to send the digitally validated certificate. So, any other question? Any other questions? Any suggestions or any other questions? Okay. Then teacher, Vinod sir?
Yes, Sinos.
Anything is there, sir?
Nothing. We can find.
Okay. Teacher, shall we wind up the things?
Yeah.
Or if nobody is asking further doubts, we can wind up the session.
Any students?
Students, if you want to interact with him, the renowned scientist is before you.
And he has already shared, okay, the one of the biggest India's matchmaking program. Okay, he has already founded the Young Academy of India, YAI. It is freely available. There is no
that also.
Yeah, all those things you can interact, and you have got such a resourceful person, as I said, and the curiosity episode. Okay, the such a kind of programs or anything related with the. Now people are here, they are seeking the admission. Okay, he is the professor of Central University of Punjab, associate professor. Any such kind of things you can ask him and you can clarify. If no, Thomas sir, very good afternoon, sir. Our former principal, Thomas sir. Sir, Mike, sir. Mike is not.
I am watching this today morning only.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
Glad to see you again.
Hello, sir.
Happy to see you.
It's nice talk, Felix.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, anything you wanted to tell, sir? Anything you wanted to make comments
No,
or
it's
suggestions?
good. It's good talk because yesterday I could not log in. Today morning I saw that Felix his talk is there. That's why I would like to see that all of them. Thank you very much.
Hope you
Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming.
Okay, thank
by.
you, teacher.
Sir, ഞാൻ വിളിക്കാം.
Yeah.
Sare, good afternoon.
Okay, good afternoon, Vinod.
Good afternoon, Thomas G.
എന്തുകൊണ്ട്? Hi.
Hi.
Students interact. Okay.
Anything else? Any other things? If that is nothing is there, I would like to propose the official vote of thanks. So, dear all, you know that today is one of the important speaker. He has delivered the talk based on one of the important aspects. Okay, and we are extremely proud that the speaker is our own esteemed alumni and a well-known scientific communicator and a very well-known speaker. So I would like to thank Dr. Felix Bast on behalf of the convener of the organizing committee and the coordinator of this particular program. Thank you very much for your great initiative and contribution to the society. And I am sure that based on your the guidelines, there are a lot of students are getting empowered and strengthening their domain knowledge and career. Like our title of this the conference, Illumininismo, that is an Italian word. So you are doing to the whole scientific world and so many students, and we are extremely fortunate to have you for this particular program. And thank you very much, Dr. Felix, for the excellent insight and excellent talk and sharing your very valuable talk to the audience. On behalf of the Department of Microbiology, St. Pius College, Rajapuram, and on behalf of the whole organizing committee and the St. Pius family, I extend my heartfelt gratitude and thanks to you for kindly accepting our invitation and delivering this particular talk. And the next, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude and thanks to Dr. K.K. Anil Kumar sir, the founder HOD and the first faculty, as I mentioned. So whenever we conduct any alumni interaction or any program, sir, although sir has retired, and he's still our guiding light. He's a mentor of our department. And that is the thing which I can tell you. Whenever any alumni are there, sir is extremely happy. Although he has a very tough schedule. He is although there was a little bit difficult situation, but sir has already joined and throughout the program. And thank you, sir. Thank you very much for guiding the entire department, and thank you very much and creating this kind of vast alumni. Okay, all over those who are working all over the world. Thank you very much. On behalf of the organizing committee and the department, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to you, sir. Thank you, sir. The next one, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our former principal. Okay, Dr. Thomas Matthew, sir. We are not known that sir was there in the morning, and we could see that. Thank you, sir. It was really a surprise, and thank you very much for your motivation and constant motivation, whatever the activity we are doing. And thank you, sir. And I would like to tell you, physics department also, Dr. Shiju Abraham, he is also there in this talk, and they are also conducting such a kind of there are so many nice program, 2 sessions, scientific session. So thank you, sir. Thank you very much for attending this particular program, and thank you very much. And I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the organizing committee chairman and the principal in charge, Sri Biju Joseph sir. Sir was there several times in this particular meeting, and he has been a constant guiding source for the organizing this particular conference. And under his dynamic leadership, the Pastor family is come up with this big mega event. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And the next person, especially I should mention Dr. Sarla Gopalakrishnan, our head of the department, the teacher of Dr. Felix Bast, and all the alumni. And this is teachers' initiative to always, when we talk about any program in the department, the first and foremost thought will go to the esteemed alumni of our department. So that is why in this talk also we have invited two esteemed alumni. This for an international symposium, and this was teachers thought that teacher is very concerned, and he wanted to showcase the strength and wealth of our department to the entire society. So thank you, teacher. Thank you very much for your kind guidelines and heading the department in all the level. Okay, so thank you, teacher. Thank you very much. And the next one, I would like to thank Dr. Vinod sir, and he was instrumental in supporting and all the program, and his with a lot of insight and support. Sir is also a part of this particular program. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for introducing Dr. Bast, and thank you very much for your support. And in this particular program, there are so many researchers and faculty members, etc., are participating. So many. I would like to mention some of Dr. Divya Nair from Central University of Himachal Pradesh. Okay. Similarly, several places across India. So many professors, although they are having extremely busy, but Dr. Bast is giving the talk. They have spent find out their time and join this particular talk. Okay. Other people know most of the colleges under Kannur University. Okay, we are having the microbiology board, the chairperson, Dr. Ayana. Okay, our own, alumni and the head of the department of SN College, Mrs. Regina, and Ramesh and CKV, and all the colleges. Okay, the faculty members from all the colleges across Kannur University and across the Kerala and across the other places. And we are having so many researchers. They are watching this particular program through YouTube, as well as this Zoom platform, various places outside Kerala, and some several places. So thank you all this. Thank you very much for your participation. And we are having a great set of alumni. Since two alumni are our speaker, obviously, Sarla teacher has invited so many alumni, passed out students, and initially I could see that there were they were there, and thank you very much for the support provided by the alumni to this particular department, and our student community from so many colleges, and the current students of St. Pius College, they are a part of this particular program. Thank you very much. And other faculty members from our own college, like Dr. Jivumari, okay, Shiju Abraham, Dr. Thomas Karia, okay, so many people, and Adulya, Anupriya, okay, all those so many, other people, since it's an international, interdisciplinary symposium, they are also a part of this particular program. And thank you all for your excellent participation. So once again, I thank all the students and the participants for making this particular event a grand success. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you.